Carroll Shelby, Matt Damon, a professional race car driver, is compelled to retire early due to a heart ailment and subsequently pursues a career in car sales. Affable and charismatic, he excels as a salesman and has a knack for connecting with people. Beyond his sales abilities, he is also an exceptional vehicle designer and engineer. In contrast, Ken Miles, Christian Bale, is a race car driver who currently works as a mechanic, operating his own garage to support his wife Molly, Katrina Balfe, and son Peter, Noah Jupe. Known for his blunt honesty, Ken occasionally upsets customers but never sugarcoats the truth. During a race, Ken is informed that his car fails to meet regulations, which leads him to angrily confront the race official. Carroll witnesses the outburst and intervenes to defuse the situation. However, tensions flare between the two men, culminating in Ken hurling a wrench at Carroll. Later, the IRS closes down Ken's garage, forcing him to put his racing career on hold in order to provide for his family. At Ford Motors, Henry Ford II, Tracy Letts, is incensed by declining sales and the imminent threat to his father's legacy. He starts soliciting ideas from his subordinates. Lee Iacocca, John Bernthal, suggests that since the most attractive cars are race cars like Ferraris, Ford could regain its status by winning the prestigious 24-hour Le Mans race. To achieve this, they travel to Italy intending to purchase the financially struggling Ferrari, allowing Enzo Ferrari, Remo Garone, to retain control of the racing division. However, Ferrari leverages Ford's offer to secure a better deal with Fiat, who ultimately acquires Ferrari. Insulting the Ford executives and calling Henry a fat pig, Ferrari rejects their proposal. On their return, Henry orders a detailed account of the encounter, which fuels his determination to outperform Ferrari by launching Ford's own racing division. Lee seeks out Carroll, the only American to have ever won at Le Mans, and asks him to lead their racing team in designing and testing cars. Carroll agrees and enlists Ken, the finest driver he knows. When Molly sees Ken leaving with Carroll, she confronts him, demanding the truth. Ken admits he's been offered a well-paying racing opportunity, and Molly is delighted, only asking that he never lies to her. As the team prepares the car for its first significant race, Ford Vice President Leo Bebbe, Josh Lucas, tells Carroll that Ken's unpredictable and roguish demeanor doesn't align with Ford's image, and he cannot be their driver. Carroll advocates for Ken but eventually has to break the news that he won't be racing. Ken is infuriated. After Ford loses the race, Carroll persuades Henry to let him rehire Ken. He visits Ken's house to apologize and ask him to return, leading to a physical altercation on the front lawn. The fight ends with both men exhausted, and Molly brings them cold sodas to recover. Ken returns to the team, who are tirelessly striving to perfect the car. Lee cautions Carroll about Leo's determination to remove Ken from the team, particularly during their next visit. Anticipating this, when Henry and Leo arrive, Carroll locks Leo in his office and takes Henry for a thrilling and terrifying race car ride. Overwhelmed by the experience, Henry breaks down in tears. Carroll proposes a deal: let Ken compete at Daytona, and if they win, he races at Le Mans in France. If they lose, Henry gains full control over Carroll's company. At Daytona, they encounter fierce competition from another Ford team, established to determine who designed the best vehicle. Ken ultimately triumphs, securing their team's place at Le Mans and confirming his role as the driver. As Le Mans approaches in France, both Ferrari and Henry are present. At the race's start, Ken's door won't close, hindering him during the first lap. Their car is designed for high speeds but wears out the brakes quickly. Deep into the race, the pit crew replaces the brakes. Ferrari's team protests, claiming it violates the rules, but Carroll points out that the rulebook permits parts replacement without specifying which ones. Eventually, Ferrari's car spins out and crashes, leaving Ken in the lead. Molly and Peter watch on TV as Ken achieves his dream of a perfect lap. Leo, attempting to undermine Carroll and manipulate their strategy, suggests to Henry that Ford's image would be best served if all three Ford cars finish together. Henry agrees, and Leo relays the order to Carroll, who refuses. Carroll informs Ken of the directive but assures him that he will support his decision. Initially, Ken races towards victory but ultimately slows down, allowing the other drivers to catch up and finish together. While everyone celebrates Ken's win, a technicality, starting behind another car, places him second, not first. Carroll is enraged, but Ken accepts the outcome, and they leave together. Weeks later, during a test drive of a new car design called the J car, Ken, not wearing safety gear, crashes and tragically loses his life. Carol visits Ken's family home and hands Peter the wrench that Ken once threw at him. Despite his grief, Carol gets into his car and drives away at high speed. The postscript reveals that Carol's cars went on to win Le Mans for 4 consecutive years, and Ken was posthumously inducted into the Racing Hall of Fame.